So today we're going to be doing June's reading wrap-up, and I am so excited. I read 3 books, which is usually my minimum of what I want to read, but I had such a good reading month, so I'm pretty excited. Oh man, there were some good books this month. I'm just going to go in order of how I finished them because they were all 5 stars. I read 3 books this month and they were all 5 stars, so that was a pretty good reading month. I'm also really hot because I had to turn off the AC, and if my arm looks really swollen, I don't know if it does on camera or not, but I got a black fly bite or a deer fly, I don't know what bit me. Something bit me and my whole arm is swelled up. I also have a bite that's about this big on my leg and a couple black fly bites behind my neck, so I am just all kinds of eaten alive and super itchy. Like, this one is actually like painful to the touch. Bites and I do not get along. Anyway, aside from that, I'm going to get into the books because book bites have nothing to do with books. The first book that I finished this month was The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides? I don't know how to say that name. I feel like everyone says it differently, and I've yet to look up how exactly it's spelled. I feel like at first this got a ton of hype for being really, really good, and then I've slowly seen more like poorer reviews. But here's the thing. I am not a big thriller reader, and maybe that's why I loved this so much, but I have read a few in the past and none of them really like hit me in a good place. Like, none of them really kept me on the edge of my seat. This one, I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was so, so good. How do I explain this? There weren't really any characters to love. Like there weren't any characters in this book that made you go like, ooh, I really love this person and I really like care about where they're going. Everyone in this book was super, super flawed and like some verging on the side of creepy. And I don't want to say too much because it is like a thriller. That being said, what I thought was going on in my mind, I guess was sort of happening, but also wasn't what happened. Like, I did not guess the twist until seconds before the reveal. So that was pretty great for me. I thought that the like twist in this book was really incredible, and I don't want to say a lot about it, but essentially this is about a psychotherapist who is trying to figure out why this woman murdered her husband, and it is like a pretty incredible story. I thought the way that the author did what the author did was like incredibly seamless and just like caught me right off guard. And if you haven't read, if you've read a ton of thrillers, I'm sure there's still a lot of you that would still like this. But that being said, this was something that actually made me want to venture back into thrillers and / mystery again. Because I've read a few, like I said, and none of them really hit the mark. And I'll still keep trying because the thing with thrillers is they're usually really, really fast. They're really, really fast reads, so I don't feel like I wasted tons of my time. So I'm gonna keep trying them, but I feel like they're very personal to the reader because it just depends on how your mind figures things out. I'm not a big guess the ending kind of person. I like to just get caught in the story and then just like let things unfold. But if it's so obvious that even my brain gets it, then it's probably way too obvious. I'm just gonna say that. But I really, really loved this book. I thought the writing was really great, and I would totally read whatever book he comes out with next if he writes another one. The next book in the stack is gonna be one of my favorite reads for the year. I almost hands down guarantee this. I mean, there's still 6 months left of the year, but A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles, I'm not exactly sure how you say his name, was incredibly beautiful. I loved every second of this book. It was incredible. I absolutely loved it. I would say this would be a great book if you love Anthony Doerr, All the Light We Cannot See, if you love Marcus Zusak, just in general, but like, I've found a little bit of like The Book Thief vibes and Bridge of Clay, and then I felt like there was a little bit of this sort of whimsical nature that reminded me of J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan, and then this isn't like the biggest influence that I noticed, but one of the characters in particular in this book really reminded me of Elsa from My Grandmother Sends Her Regards and Apologizes by Frederick Bachman. So considering those like 4 authors all being like some of my favorite books of all time, or authors of my favorite books of all time, all kind of I felt vibes from each of those in this book. Of course, I was going to absolutely adore it. I read some like 1-star reviews because after I read books that I love or hate, I love to go and read like opposing reviews just to see like the other side and what people would think on the other side. And I can definitely understand how it's not some people's cup of tea. It's a little bit overwritten, over-explanatory. It's a little wordy. It's very like, I guess, like poetic and beautiful kind of writing, and if you don't like things that just get straight to the point and you don't love like tangents and things like that, then maybe this wouldn't be the book for you. But essentially, in A Gentleman in Moscow, we follow this man who has been sentenced to a lifetime of house arrest at the Metropole Hotel in Moscow. And we just follow him for 30 years throughout his lifetime, stuck in this hotel, and you meet these friends that he's formed relationships with. And I just thought this story was so beautiful from beginning to end. I loved the Count. I absolutely loved his character. I thought he was charming. I thought he was witty and funny. I loved the characters around him. I think of this, because I believe this is coming out as a TV show, I feel like it's gonna feel kind of like The Grand Budapest Hotel, or Murder on the Orient Express, like that kind of like a whimsical nature of a story. I can't explain it, but it's like the feeling, that's the kind of feeling that I got. I adored this book. I like I said, I loved it so much. I buddy read this with my friend Amara. She's been sending me notes and not notes, but like messages, texts or whatever, about the book along the way, and like we are like twinsies with our reading experience of this, and I love hearing her ideas coming through the book as well, because or her opinions on the book, because I'm just like, yes, every single time she sends me a message, I'm like, I felt the exact same way. And I just adored this book, and I knew, or at least I thought, I was going to really enjoy it, but I had no idea it was going to be one of my favorite reads of the year. And since reading this one, I really, really would love to get to Rules of Civility, because that is the other book that Immortals wrote. And if his writing is as beautiful in that one as it is in this one, I think that could be another favorite. So I'm definitely going to pick that up at some point, but this book was gorgeous. I loved it. Oh man, it was great. And the last book that I finished this month, okay, that was a disgusting noise. I'm sorry for that. I finished The Way of Kings, and I read 900 pages of this book this month. Actually, 952, 951, something like that. It was a lot of pages. I was expecting to read 300 pages, and then I was going to pick up More Than We Can Tell, which is over there. And I literally couldn't put it down. I just wanted to get to the end. I just wanted to finish it. And I absolutely adored it. I gave this one 5 stars as well. I really loved this story. I felt like the ending was a little bit more subdued than what I was expecting, but it wasn't bad by any means. I really enjoyed it. I kind of thought the characters deserved it, but considering like the way other books I've read by Sanderson have gone, I was just expecting a lot more like massacre. So I'm just really glad about the ending of this. I really want to get to the second one at some point soon, and then obviously the third once I pick it up. But I love this story. I don't even really know how to summarize it, because the thing with this book is it's chunky, it's massive, but I feel like a lot happened and also not a lot happened all at the same time. Like, given its girthiness, it definitely, like, more could have gone on, but I also loved getting to know each character. I loved all of the, like, in-depth stuff. I loved that it really created this world around us, and you could picture all these different, like, mystical or mythical creatures and things like that. Like, I loved pretty much every aspect of this book. I really loved Kaladin. I really loved Dalinar. I want to see where everyone goes, but I still haven't read the synopsis on the back. I'm pretty sure the main synopsis of this series is sort of like a good versus evil, but also there's a lot of like political intrigue, and just there's so much going on that I really don't know how to summarize it, and I don't think anyone else has really summarized it either that I can think of. I just know people are always like, this series is so good, and I'm just like, okay, I'll try it. That's fine. Yep, I don't know what it's about, but Sanderson wrote it, so I'm gonna try it. And I loved this book so much, and I am, like I said, so excited to get to the second one in the series, and just excited to continue on after that. I think that this is going to be a really, really grand book series that I'm literally going to have to buy another bookshelf for because there's so many. But that was all the books that I completed this month. The only other honorable mention is I did read 100 pages of A Clash of Kings. I finally started A Clash of Kings, and I'm so excited to be back in that world and with those characters and reading through. You guys may notice that I put up a kind of like a summer TBR or like a summer reading recommendations video, and I will card that up here. But I decided to forego filming a July TBR only because I am going on holidays this month, and whenever I go to the cottage, I typically read quite a bit. Like, I read a good chunk pretty much every single day that I'm there, and I think I'll be there for 10 days. So I'm really hoping to get a lot done. But that being said, I don't know what I want to read yet. I don't know what I want to take with me. I have no idea. I'll probably just pack a crap load of books into my bag when I decide to leave for the cottage. And I decided that instead of pre-planning this month, because I really don't know, I'm just gonna leave that for now and leave my summer reading recs, and then you guys will get a July wrap up when I get home. And I'm not sure if I'll do the same thing for August or not, because I'm also going on a vacation in August. So I'm pretty excited for all of the summer holidays this month and all the reading in this summer, but we shall see how things go. Anyway, I think I'm going to end this here because I can't think of anything else that I need to tell you guys. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you plan on reading or what you have been reading lately. I always love to know what you guys are reading to put new things on my radar, etc., etc. Also, while you're down there, don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell so you don't miss any future notifications. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.